evening, everyone. My name is Valerie Miller, and you'll get to see a nice picture of me in a moment. It only took me three times to try to take the picture. I have the PowerPoint over here, so I'm going to move this a little bit so that at least it looks like I'm looking at you a little when I'm talking, because I'm going to be looking at the PowerPoint as I talk. But this is the University of Louisville, Kent School of Social Work and Family Science, and we represent the MSSW program, which is the Master of Science in Social Work. If you are here tonight, we're assuming that you are interested in learning about our program, and that makes us very happy. We have three people in our admissions office. We have Daphne Arnold, and Daphne takes care, she is the admissions coordinator, or she takes care of applications if your last name begins with A through L. We have Ellie Cortez, who is the admissions coordinator for M through Z. You also have me. I am Valerie Miller. I'm the Associate Director for Social Work, and the three of us take care of admissions. And what that means is we look at your applications. We are the first ones to review your application before we send it to the committee. We look at your application to see if you are missing any documents. We will send you emails and tell you what you're missing, and we will also talk to you and help you tweak it so that you have the best application package possible. Basically, what our job is for the three of us is to help make your life easier and to help your application make it through the system. We want everyone to succeed and everyone to be accepted and get into the program. And so what our job is basically is to help you. So when you apply, or if you decide to apply, and when you apply, you can contact us with any questions you have, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. And don't ever feel bad about emailing us. Like I said, that's what we're here for. Our job is to make your life a little bit easier. So this is our admissions team. This is our outline for tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about what social work is. For those of you who have a BSW, you won't, you already know what social work is. For those of you who do not, we'll still talk about a little bit about social work for you. You can come to us with any major or any degree, and we can help you find a path to get your MSSW, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit about the practicum experience, campus resources, how to apply, application deadlines, tuition, and financial aid, and then we'll open it up for questions. So that's just an outline of where we're going and where we're heading tonight. And as I said, you can feel free to put questions in the chat. Daphne will be monitoring the chat. She will be talking with you, and she will answer them. And if she is unable to answer them, because Daphne is our newest person, and she's just a little over a month in the program, and very excited. She's already grasping everything very clearly. At this moment, Daphne and I are both working with A through L students, so you can email either one of us, and we'll be glad to help you. So let's talk about social work. What is social work? Social work, and this, I'll give you a little background on these descriptions. These descriptions were created by our director of social work, who has practiced social work. And when I say practice, I mean this person is an expert on social work. She has practiced social work not just within the United States. She has practiced it outside of the country in other areas. She is absolutely an expert, and if anyone knows what social work is, this person does. So it's working towards the improvement of social conditions and the alleviation of social problems, advocating on behalf of marginalized populations and creating social service organizations that are responsive to human needs. Basically, social work is helping others to have a better life, helping others to have be able to support themselves, and to help the marginalized populations and people who don't have a voice. And we help people. We help them with resources. But what social work is all about helping other humans have a life of dignity and worth in our wonderful walk of life. Levels of social work. There are different levels of social work practice. I'm sure that most of you come in with a pre-definition or a pre-assumed definition of social work, and what we're going here tonight to tell you is to teach you how social work and to show you how social work is such a large career with many, many options and many, many levels and layers. It's complex. It's not single dimensional. It is multifaceted. And so there are different levels. And one level, and one of the smaller levels, is a micro. And this is social work involves smaller units like families or relationships. It's one-on-one, single. A lot of times you're working with one person. Many times you're working with the whole family. It could be a husband, a wife and a wife, children. It could be a whole family unit. You are working with different people through different walks of life. And so micro works with the smaller units. Meso is right there in that medium size. It's people who want to work in the community. You're going to work with a smaller community. You're not working with a large government such as the United States, but you work in your community to make your community better, to advocate for the people in communities. And so it's a little bit smaller level. Now, macro social work. Macro social work is going to work in the larger system. It's going to work with your states, with your governments. It's going to work with policies, helping to change things for everyone. So think of, when we think about how we talk about social work helps to implement change, micro helps in the smaller units. You're helping individual lives, individual families, individual units. Meso is going to work with communities, making your community better, helping individuals who live in this community by changing things in the community, getting resources for the community. Macro is changing things for the state, changing things for the country, changing things for the world, and working on larger policies. What can I do with the social work? A master's in social work. If I would have asked many of you, especially those who have not worked in the social work field, the first thing that generally comes into mind is child welfare. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. We need people to work with child welfare. However, child welfare is just a tiny slice of what you can do with social work, with your master's in social work. One of our most popular and really good paying positions is a medical social worker. We need social workers in hospitals, connecting with resources, working with patients, working with families. We have gerontology, people who want to work with the elderly and older population. We have doulas. Most of you know what a birth doula is. It's someone who helps through the birthing period. But did you know there's a position, and social workers work in a position that's called a death doula? It's similar to hospice, but you will connect your clients and patients with resources, and not just the patients, because if someone is diagnosed with a terminal illness, it doesn't just affect the person that is diagnosed, it affects the whole family. Death doulas work with the families to help them through the process and connect them with resources. You can be a grief counselor, you can be a school social worker, which means you help students and you help families with resources, and even teachers to get the resources they need. There's lots of different areas in social work, and this is just a few. We have military social workers who help people who have been in the military and served our country. What do social workers earn? We know that on the whole, social work sometimes gets a bad rap and is considered maybe not one of your more lucrative employments as when it comes to pay. However, those things have changed. If we got one thing out of COVID, it was that how important social workers are and what a need we had for them and how we didn't have enough in our society practicing. Right now, the median income or annual earning for a social worker ranges from 50 to high 60s. And it's according to what range you're in and where you live. It could be higher, it could be lower. We get our information from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics so that we can be confident with the numbers that we present to you. A median annual income for a healthcare social worker is $68,000. That can be in healthcare services. That's also your medical social work. Educational services, according to state and local and private, you can make as much as $67,000. So you can make a living wage with your master's in social work. And it's a growing field. The growth outlook right now for the next few years is about 7%. So this field is growing. As long as we have people, we're going to need social workers. Social work licensure. We offer a path to licensure through getting your master's in social work. The master's level licensure our program meets the educational requirements for licensure in all 50 states. Sometimes I will read verbatim. When I read verbatim from the PowerPoint, it's because it's an important piece of information I want to make sure that you understand, and I want to make sure that I'm saying it clearly for you. Upon graduation, you will sit for your state's master's level social work licensure exam. So after you receive your master's in social work, if you want to receive your master's licensure, you can sit for the exam. Clinical social work license, sure. After obtaining an MSSW degree, graduates can pursue licensure, which will typically involve working under a supervision of an LCSW for 2 years post-graduation. Now, this licensure will allow you to, or this license allows you to be a clinical social worker. And so with your master's level, you are a social worker, a licensed social worker. With your clinical, you are a licensed clinical social worker. And so you would work under supervision under an LCSW for 2 years, accruing a set number of supervision hours and sitting for a final exam. Your Kentucky licensure rules and policies can be found. You can Google the Kentucky Board of Social Work and you can find your licensure policies there for Kentucky. Other licensure boards can be located at the Association of Social Work Boards, or you can also look up for your particular state. So if you lived in Indiana, you would want to look up Indiana's Board of Social Work and find out what the qualifications are for your licensure and your exams. The Kent School of Social Work and Family Science is rated as the best social work program in the state of Kentucky. It's centered in Kentucky's largest metropolitan city. Now, when we say that can be a little bit intimidating, but honestly, we had a coordinator that worked here, and I loved what she said. She took a promotion, and so that's why she's not working as our coordinator anymore. But she used to always say that Louisville is a small town pretending to be a big city. And I have found that to be true. Louisville, I feel very much at home in Louisville. I absolutely love Louisville. So whether you take online or in person, I think you would like the city. We have the benefits of the city, but we also have the small town quality of Louisville, quality of life. And we prepare social workers nationally and globally for careers in advanced social work practice through lenses of anti-oppression and anti-racism while promoting social justice. The MSSW program provides a generalist social work education that prepares students for ethical, evidence-informed, advanced social work practice with diverse, vulnerable, and marginalized individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities. Our program contributes to the mission of the university as a great place to learn by providing engaged service and outreach opportunities. We have many of our professors are researchers as well. They're always researching new and inventive ideas and technologies. We have a lot going on within Kent. We have interactive classes. The professors, you actually get to know them. That's part of that small town field. You get to know the professors personally and talk with them and practice while you work. Practice your how do I say that? Practice the philosophies that you're learning. We have two different programs with Kent, and the first one is advanced standing. Now, advanced standing, you can qualify for that if you have a bachelor's of social work, a BSW degree from an accredited university. If you have a CSWE accredited BSW, then you can walk into our 30-hour program, which means you go right into the advanced classes and advanced practicum. If you have a degree in any other major or field of study, then you would qualify for the 60-hour. And what you would do is your bachelor's would be in any other discipline. Your first 2 years would be counted, or your first 30 hours would be counted as your foundational classes, and your second 30 hours is your advanced standing courses. So regardless of what your undergraduate degree is, we have a path for you to reach your MSSW degree. Program courses. We have many different curriculum and pathways to get your master's degree. We understand that life goes on whether you're in school or not. So we offer different ways to get your degree. You can come and take your classes in person on campus. You can take online courses, and our online courses are asynchronous, and a few of them are offering synchronous. So your asynchronous means that you can do your classwork anytime you want. You get your information and at the beginning of the week, or through your syllabus, and you have any time during the week that you can work on it. If you're a night owl and you want to work on your classwork at 6:30 at night, or 6:30 in the morning, or if you want to work at midnight, you can do that with the asynchronous. With synchronous, sometimes they will ask you to meet at specific times, but your coursework and your meetings will all be online. So you can complete our program online 100%, with the exception of your practicum portion. Paths toward degree completion. You can do full-time or you can do part-time. If you want to really be a go-getter, get it done in a year, you can do full-time. If you're 30 hours, it'll be a year. If you're 60 hours, it'll be 2 years. You can do part-time. You can take a couple of classes every semester and work at your own pace to get it. We understand that at different times you have different responsibilities, so you may go full-time one semester and then drop off to part-time the next semester. That all works with us. You can work your curriculum out in a way that fits your schedule. Students begin their journey. We offer 3 different times out of the year to start in this program. You can start in summer, in fall, or in spring. Summer starts the week after the spring semester ends. You can start in summer. Fall and spring start with the traditional semester starts. for U of L. So you would start in, for fall, you would start in August, and in spring, you would start in January. Summer is almost always May. We offer dual degree programs. So say you're interested in more than one field, or you want to specialize in more than one field. We offer dual degrees, which means you can get 2 masters at the same time. We offer MS in couple and family therapy. We offer a MA in Pan-African Studies, MA in Women's and Gender and Sexuality Studies, Juris Doctorate, which is your law degree, a Master in Divinity, MA in Healthcare Ethics, Latin American and Latino Studies Certificate. All these can be completed simultaneously as you work with your MSSW program. It might take just a little bit longer because you're actually getting 2 degrees and filling the requirements of 2 degrees, but you can work on them at the same time. We offer concentrations. If coming into the program, you know what population and a particular group that you want to work with, we offer concentrations for those. If you know you want to work with the elderly, you can specialize in gerontology. If you want to work with military clients, then you can take the military social work specialization. We have school social work. We have forensic social work. And instead of talking very much about that, because that's kind of relatively new, we check our website out. We've got a forensic social work info session coming up. It'll be online. It's coming up the end of October, and it's going to be all about what forensic social work is. So this is a new category, and we will all be learning together. Practicum education. Practicum is where social work knowledge, theories, and values are integrated and with your applied social work practice. So basically it's where you put into practice what you have learned. You're actually working in different settings and different aspects of the social work field to learn on site and practice what you have learned, and you'll do this with supervision and professional development. You have each practicum is 2 semesters long. If you are a 30-hour program student, then you would have 1 year, 2 semesters of practicum. If you have, and these run from fall to spring or spring to summer. So you can either start in the fall or the spring. You cannot start in summer, so it's fall to spring, spring to summer. If you are a 60-hour practicum or a 60-hour program, then you would have 2 practicums. You will do the practicum that is similar to what you would have done when you got your bachelor's, and you will then do another practicum when you are in your advanced courses. So you would have 2 practicums or 4 semesters of practicum. And you would go through an application process and work with the practicum office to be placed. If you have questions about practicum, you can address those to the practicum office, and I think Daphne will put in the chat the information on our practicum office so that you can contact practicum with your questions about practicum. How long will I spend there? For practicum, of course, we said the entire academic year. First year, generalist. This is for the 60-hour students. You complete 450 hours total, which divided out becomes 225 each semester, 16 hours a week in fall and spring, and it equals out to about 20 to 21 hours that you would work in a practicum setting, and we'll talk about that in another slide in a moment. Year 2, your advanced practicum, which is for 30-hour students, or the advanced portion or the second half of your 60-hour. You will have 500 hours total, 250 each semester. That will equal or equate to about 18 to 20 hours a week in the fall and spring. If you do spring and summer, it's going to be around 23 to 24 hours during the summer, because summer is a shorter session, so you would work a few extra hours each week. Who will supervise me? In your practicum, a professional with an MSW or an MSSW degree will, with 2 years of postgraduate and full-time work experience in the social work field, will supervise you. And MSW is Master of Social Work, MSSW is Master of Science in Social Work. What will I be doing? Direct face-to-face or virtual practice with clients. On-site learning with regular supervision and professional development meetings. Here are some of the practicum settings. You could, if you're medical, you would definitely want to be in the hospital or medical. You can do mental health agencies, shelters, alcohol and drug programs, immigrant refugee services, community-based agencies, child welfare, schools, military veterans programs. If you know or you have a specialization, the practicum office will work with you to help you get a practicum placement in a setting that will complement your specialization. Kent Social Work is unique in that we consider ourselves an application to graduation program, which means the whole time you're in the program, you're going to have someone who is your known contact who will basically hold your hand and help you through. You start out with admissions, and then after you have been accepted and you're getting ready to register, admissions Okay, someone was trying to phone in, so that was, sorry about that. It clicked up on my computer. Our advising office is split exactly like our admissions office. Connie Cox is our advisor for the A through L. She works with you if your last name is A through L. So Connie coordinates with Daphne. And so when it's time for you to go from admissions to becoming a student and becoming an enrolled student and registering, Daphne will transition and introduce you to Connie. We have Winobi Williams, who works with students, who is advising coordinator for M through Z. He works with Ellie Cortez, and when it's time, Ellie will introduce you to Winobi, and you will have the transition over to our advising office. And advising will help you with picking your classes, registering, making sure you're on going through the program at the speed that you should be going through, and that you're on track for graduation. Our advising office does a wonderful job. They offer workshops and teach you how to register for classes and work with you through graduation. Doesn't mean that you can't come back to admissions and talk with us when you have a question that needs to be answered through admissions. We're a team, and we all work together to make sure that you're successful in the program. As a team, we have the ideology that your success is our success. And if you're successful in the program, then we have been a success for you. Daphne, if you don't mind, can you add some practicum information in the chat, please? Additional campus resources. If you come to U of L, whether you're online or if you're online or if you're on campus, we have resources for you to help you. We understand that there's times when you need to talk with someone yourself. We've got to take care of ourselves and do self-care ourselves. And sometimes graduate school can be a little stressful, especially if you have a family obligations and you are trying to work and you're trying to go to graduate school. Sometimes we all need counseling. We have a counseling center on campus. We have planned professional development. We have, which will help you with resumes and things like that and help you get develop professionally. We have a writing center. If you are trying to write a paper and you feel like it could be critiqued or improved upon, you can visit our writing center and let them help you. We have a career center. We have Center for Belonging, Access, Engagement, military connected students. Basically every center that and group that is here for resources on campus is offered to all of you as a U of L student in the master's program. So now let's go to how do you apply. Here are the application requirements and this can also be found on our website at Kent. Each applicant must complete an online application. The application process is completely online. You complete the online application, including short essays. You submit your official transcripts. Now, all the schools that you have attended, every school that you have taken classes at, you must submit a transcript into the you must submit your transcript. Even if you only took a couple of classes there, you have to submit your transcript. Now, the good thing is if you graduated from U of L, we've already got your U of L transcripts, so you don't have to worry about those. But we do have to have transcripts and official copies. We can admit you provisionally with a copy of your transcripts, and you can be admitted and register for the first semester with a copy, but the official must be on file before you can be admitted and register for the second semester. We have a writing sample that you will need to, in the MSSW, you are expected to submit a sample of your ability to write academically. We give you a prompt and you submit the writing sample based on the prompt. It's a two-part prompt, and you are expected to write your sources, and we give you the format for it. It's generally academically formatted. It's an APA. Citations, you will also 12 font, Times New Roman, but we tell all of that. We give you all that information in the prompt. And if you have questions about your writing sample, you can contact your admissions coordinator. You have to have letters of recommendations. If you are a 60-hour student, you must have 2 letters of recommendation. One would come from a supervisor, one would come from academic source or professor. It has to be someone who has had you in class. Now, if you graduated more than 2 years ago, we understand how difficult that can be to go back and get a letter of recommendation from someone from 2 years ago. So we will accept, if you've been out of school for more than 2 years, we will accept 2 letters of recommendation from supervisors. Letters of recommendation cannot come from friends, co-workers, mentors. It has to be someone who actually supervised you. You have to have a resume. You need to submit a resume, and it is a $65 non-refundable application fee. There are instances where the application fee is waived. You can contact the graduate school to find out if you meet qualifications to get a fee waiver. Our admissions process, you can write down this HTTPS URL and you can go there to get your application and start your application. You do have to have your preferred cumulative GPA is 3.0. We do have instances where we have accepted students with less than a 3.0. When that happens, you have to write an addendum explaining what happened and why you were unable to achieve a 3.0 in your undergraduate studies. This goes into, I've kind of already done this and gone into detail about your letters of recommendation. Some tips: reach out to more than you need on your letters of recommendation, because sometimes that can delay your application. If you're trying to get your application in, failure to submit the letters of, or get the letters of recommendation can prevent your application from being moved to the next phase. This tells everything I just said. The addendum: transfer credit. If you have taken graduate work at another university, you may be able to transfer some of your coursework. We have a link on our Kent, MSSW Kent at Louisville EDU for students who are hoping to get transfer credit at the University of Louisville. And what happens is you fill out the form, and our director and transfer committee will review the syllabus and compare and see if your transfer credit can be granted. Application deadlines. If you want to start in summer, May, the preferred application deadline is March 20th. If you want to start in the fall, your application deadline is July 1st. If you want to start in the spring, January, your application deadline is November 1st. Now, say you submit your application November 2nd. We're not going to say that you missed out, okay? This is the application deadline that if you definitely, absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, want to start in January, you need your application in November 1st, because that gives time for you to work with practicum. It gives time for us to get all the paperwork we need in. It gives us time to get you accepted and through the admissions process, going into the advising process, and then beginning a practicum evaluation and process to get yourself, application and process to get yourself ready for practicum. So I'm not saying that if you don't get your application in here, after this deadline, we will look at your application on a case-by-case basis and determine if we think we can get you in. However, if you want a guaranteed amount of time to get yourself in and be able to start this semester smoothly, you want to adhere to these deadlines. Practicum Education Office. Once you are accepted into the program, the Practicum Office will reach out to you via your U of L email address about the application process. They will tell you how and when to apply for practicum, and they will work with you to secure a practicum placement. Practicum deadlines. Practicum deadlines are much more strict. You must adhere to these deadlines because they have to work with you and make sure that you have practicum accommodations in the area location that you need. If U of L does not already have a contract with the area that you need or want to be placed at, we will have to work with them to secure a contract to be able to have you work and complete your practicum with them. And this takes time, but all of this can be discussed with the practicum office. They're the experts. I can give you the general information, but if you want detailed information, my advice is to contact the practicum office. And I think Daphne will have that practicum office information in our chat. Okay, so let's move on. If you want to summer's placement, if you are non-local, that means you are outside of the Louisville and Kentucky area, then you will want to have your application in by the 15th of September. So if you go back and you look at our deadlines, that means you really have to meet the deadlines and be ahead of the game to get your placements. October 31st is if you're local, if you live in Louisville. For fall and spring placement deadlines, May 15th, non-local, June 30th, local. If you miss the deadline, they will work with you, but they absolutely cannot guarantee a spot. So the best thing and best advice I can give you is adhere to all the deadlines to be assured that you can secure a space in the time frame that you want. Cost is always something that cost is always an issue. So let's talk about just a little bit about it. According to when you start, this is as of today. This is not, how do I say it? It's not carved in stone for the next few years. This is our, as of the fall 2025 semester. Graduate tuition. If you are a resident of Kentucky, on campus, your full-time tuition, which is 9 or more credit hours, is $7,652 per semester. That equals $850 per credit hours. If you're in the online program, you are charged per credit hour regardless of how many hours you are taking. So it's $850 per credit hour regardless. Whereas full-time at 9 to 12 hours, you'll still be charged $7,652 if you're an in-state on-campus student. Non-resident, it's $15,554 per semester, $1,729 per credit hour. But if you're an online program, if you're out of state on campus, if you're an online program, it's still $850 per credit hour, regardless of how many hours you take. What we suggest is when you apply, always check the bursar's office to make sure that you have the latest and most accurate information on what you can expect to pay for your courses. Students are expected to review the graduate school policy and procedure page and understand how you will be billed based on your choice of online or on campus. It's very important to understand. You don't want any surprises. All of us, we all feel that way. We all hate to find an unexpected cost on our bills, so it's best to be proactive. Check with the bursar's office, check your bill, check your status, and make sure that everything is what you expected it to be. Address it as soon as possible if you see a mistake. Kent School scholarships. Kent School is unique in that we offer scholarships more than once a year. You can apply for scholarships in May, and you can apply for scholarships in September. The fall scholarships, we offer scholarships once each semester. In the fall, our scholarship portal opens from May to July 1st. It's open for 2 months. You can apply for scholarships in the fall. In the spring, our scholarship portal opens September 15th to November 15th. So that means spring scholarship portal is open now. It opened 2 days ago. If you are contemplating coming in the spring semester and you want to apply for scholarships, then you will need to apply as soon as possible so that you can get through the system, be accepted, have your U of L email created, and you'll be able to apply for scholarships. The deadline for applying for scholarships is November 15th, so you must have applied by November 15th, and you must have been accepted in time and gone through the system to qualify before November 15th, and that's midnight November 15th. Our MSSW students have found GAs at graduate assistants at places like Housing and Residence Life and Peace Program, the Graduate School, Online Education, and other areas. FAFSA, very important. In order to qualify for a scholarship in the MSSW program, you have to have 2 things. You have to have a FAFSA that has to be filled out. You fill it out once a year, once an academic year. If you fill it out in the fall, for the fall semester, it's good all the way up through summer. If you start in the spring, you will want to fill it out in the spring. But once again, it will be required again in the fall. Your FAFSA is good for fall, spring, summer academic year. And then you will fill a new FAFSA out for the fall. Of course, we don't offer scholarships in the summer, so basically you're doing the spring and the fall, but you do have to have a FAFSA on file, and you do need to maintain a 3.0 GPA in the program to be eligible for scholarships. Traeger Institution is a group that we work with, and they work with the elderly population, and they offer scholarships and one-year medical social work placement that trains students to provide age-friendly care. They also have stipends depending on availability. A stipend is very similar to a scholarship, and their scholarships are very generous. So if you're interested in working with the elderly population, this is a good option for you to help with your expenses on getting through the program. So what are some tips that you can do now to help you get through? Establish and maintain good relationships with your professors. You're going to want to ask them, if you're in your undergraduate now, you're going to want to ask them for a letter of recommendation. So find some professors who you have a good relationship with. Maintain that relationship. Make sure that you're keeping your GPA up and that your GPA is where it needs to be. Be aware of it. If you are just under the 3.0, make sure that you work to get your GPA up to the 3.0. It will make it a little bit easier when you're applying to graduate school if you've met the GPA requirement. Talk with people you know who have already gone through the program. Get with people who have taken completed graduate programs in any programs, and specifically in the social work program. Find out what they taught, what helped them, what made it easier for them, what classes they took, what they specialized in. Find out all this information so you know what to expect. Think about the types of social work and practical placements that might interest you. Start doing your research now so that when you talk with practicum, you have a little bit of an idea of what you might want to do. And most importantly, set up a one-on-one with an MSSW admissions coordinator. You can set up a meeting with Daphne or Ellie or myself, and we'll sit down with you and talk with you about all the things that we're talking about tonight and help you. Follow us. Look for us on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. We have all these different social media platforms that you can, we advertise our info sessions. You can contact us. You can look for us. Here's our contact information again, if you haven't already got it. We've got Daphne Arnold, who is our MSSW admissions coordinator for last names A through L. We have Ellie Cortez, who works with M through Z. You can reach either one of them through msswkent@louisville.edu. We have our website, Louisville EDU Kent Admissions. This gives you can find our application checklist there. We have the practicum office information here, filled edu at louisville.edu. You could scan the QR code on here to receive more information. This is a picture of our director. You remember the person I was telling you about that is absolutely a wonderful wealth of knowledge and who really has walked the social work walk, Dr. Susan Rema. She is always happy to talk with our students and help any way that she can with our program. We have a survey that you can give us feedback. Tell us if you have questions, or tell us how we did. Let us know if we gave you the information you wanted to hear. Tell us what we can do to make it better. Tell us if there's anything you would have liked to have heard that we didn't do, or tell us if we did something great. We love that. So, please help us help others and help us to do a better job. I'm going to stop sharing now. We're opening it up for questions now. Daphne, did you have any questions? Feel free turn on your cameras if you'd like. Feel free to open up your mics. Feel free to type questions in the chat, and we will look at it and try to do our best to answer it for you.
I think I was able to answer all the questions in the chat. But if you want us to expand on any of the answers, or haven't gotten a chance to type in there yet, feel free to, like Valerie said, unmute your mic or turn on your camera.
The practicum office, I see one that says, will the practicum be in your city, or if you would have to come to Louisville. The practicum office will work with you. We have practicum partners and practicum locations throughout the United States, and in many cities throughout Kentucky. Sorry. So most likely you will have a practicum spot in your location. You would not be asked to drive all the way to Louisville. Like if you're located in Stanton, you would not have to drive to Louisville for your practicum. There should be something closer, if not within Stanton, with somewhere that's feasible for you to drive to. But you would work with the practicum office to establish that, and you would tell them where you're from and where you need to be. Daphne, do you see any questions? How dated back should our letters of recommendation? I'm looking to apply fall 2026. Could I start asking now? Oh, absolutely. You could start asking now for your letters of recommendation, or start planning for them. You want to start fall 2026. So, right after the first of the year, you're going to want to start thinking about beginning your application. So you want to also think about working towards getting those relationships with your professors. You can start asking them. When you apply, it's going to have you send the professor an email. You put the professor's email in there, and it's going to send them an email prompting them to send your recommendation or upload your recommendation. But it's never too early to start giving a heads up and putting feelers out there to see if your professor would be willing to offer you a recommendation for your graduate school. So it's never too early to start planning for those things. Daphne, do you see new questions that I haven't? How many?
Yes, there's a question about if you don't meet the 3.0 GPA requirement.
Okay, if you are close, that's all right. We have, the minimum requirement to be accepted into graduate school is 2.5. The graduate school will not accept anyone, under that, unless it's special circumstances. With if you come in with a 2.5 up to 3.0, there's some extra steps you have to take. You have to write the addendum and submit the addendum. And in this addendum, it's your opportunity to plead your case. We understand that things happen. Sometimes when you're in undergraduate, maybe you had something traumatic happen. Maybe life happened and you found that, something happened. Maybe as a family unit, you're expecting a child that you weren't expecting, or you get sick. There's just so many different things. You had to relocate. You're in the military and you got stationed somewhere else. Life happens. This is your opportunity. The addendum is where you tell us what happened, tell us how you have changed since then, what makes you feel like you can indeed be successful in the program, and what steps you plan to take to make sure that you're going to be successful. So it's just your opportunity to plead your case. And then what they'll do is they'll take into consideration, they'll look at your GPA as a whole, overall, how you did. Sometimes they'll look for trends. Maybe when you started college, you did horrible, but then as you continued, you got better. They're going to look at that. And with your addendum and the explanation, they're going to look at what you've done in social work. You know, have you worked, have you volunteered, have you done things? And they'll look at your application as a whole. So 3.0 is your preferred GPA. If you are just under a 3.0, there's still a pathway to get in. So don't give up. We'll work with you. Okay? And that's what we're here for. So, you know, email us, contact us.
We've got two more questions. How many credits are transferable? And
That
then also a question about using military benefits to help with the cost of the program.
on how many credits are transferable, it will be dependent on what your credits are and you know, how old they are, what they are, various things. There is a minimum requirement. I think Daphne had put, did you put, you can go onto our website and there is a link for the transfer form and there's some information on there that will tell you how many credits are, how many credits you can expect. It's not very many because this is a tight program. We have, you know, only 30 hours, so most transfer credits would be transfer in as electives. Okay, how can you use your military benefits to pay for the program? You will want to contact, when you apply, you will check the boxes for military. You will talk with graduate school, and we also have an office that works with our military connected students that will help you to make sure that you do get your benefits. So there's lots of different resources for that. You can also talk to financial aid, and between all of us, we'll make sure that you get those military benefits that you should be getting and that you've earned. And military students do qualify for, if you do get military benefits, I think it's $250 a credit hour, and you do qualify for scholarships as well. You can apply for them. In virtual placements, I can't answer that. I would like to, but honestly, I am not the expert on practicum placements and virtual placements, so I don't want to give you incorrect information. Every once in a while, I just don't have all the answers. We put the field edu, the field email in our chat. Contact them and talk with them so that you know what is available. They also have a website. You can look on there and it can tell you some information, but just talk with them. They're the experts and they will help you. Okay, you've been out for 11 years. Yes, you would need recommendations from 2 supervisors. Now, they can be supervisors, you know, if you, they don't have to be a paid supervisor, like maybe say you have done a lot of volunteer work and someone was your supervisor for volunteer work. As long as they have supervised you in a professional setting, work, volunteer setting, they can qualify as a recommender. So yes, if you are a 60-hour applicant, you would need to get recommendations from 2 supervisors. Official transcripts, when you apply, you will get links. You will go through the, oh my goodness, what's it called? Clearinghouse to submit your transcripts. They'll be submitted electronically, and you will put down the school that you are having the transcripts sent from, and you will put us down as the school that you want your transcripts sent to. Now remember, if you attended U of L, your official transcripts are already on file, but any other university, you will have to have those transcripts sent. You will, graduate school, when you are filling out your application, will give you information on how to submit your transcripts. If you still have questions, contact us and we will walk you through the process. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, yes, you sure can. You can submit more than the required letters of recommendation. Now remember, they have to submit them for you. You know, they will send them for you, but you can submit more than one. As a matter of fact, we tell students, we tell all applicants, ask for more than you expect to receive, because trust me, sometimes people forget, it gets lost. The email may go in their junk mail and they never saw it, and you're waiting for a letter of recommendation. So definitely go with more than what you expect. And sometimes you may ask two people or three people, and two people give really great ones, and one person just did what they had to. Well, you know, you definitely will be happy that you asked more than one person at that time. Any other questions? Okay, with practicum, you choose. You work with the practicum office to determine that once you're accepted, the practicum office will contact you and send you an email, and you can work with them. And between meeting with the practicum office and looking at your schedule, the two of you will determine when you want to start practicum. You don't have to start it that first semester that you start. You can choose a different time. So you will definitely want to talk with the practicum office about when you start. And that's one of the things you put on your application. When the practicum office sends you that application for you to start applying for a practicum, that's one of the things you'll put in there, is you'll tell them when you think you're wanting to start practicum, and they'll work with you. Um, the pay slide for the, are you wanting me to go back to the slide that showed what the cost is? Is that what you're looking at? Let me see. This information that we have on there is, on this information, this is as of the beginning of the semester for fall 2025. Things change. Generally, tuition is set for the whole year. So if you don't start until fall 2026, it could be different. Oh, the pay of being a social worker. Okay. Now let me get to down here. And remember, these are median pay. This is a median pay. It's an average. In some places it'll be lower, and some places it'll be higher. But this is according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, and this was as of May 2024. So if you want the most up-to-date and accurate information, I would suggest visiting the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, if no one else has any questions, I'm going to end the program tonight. We are still here. You're going to think of questions. If you have a question at midnight tonight, email us. Just feel free to email us at the msswkent@louisville.edu. We've put it in the chat several times. Feel free to email us. We will not answer you at midnight. We're both going to be, we'll all be asleep, but we will answer you tomorrow. So if you have any questions, please email us. And thank you so much for coming out tonight. We hope to hear from you again. And like I said, any questions, we're application to graduation. We're here to help you. So thank you for attending, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.
Great job.